All right, let's get right into it. We're all trying to build wealth, right? But what if I told you there's a hidden tax, a silent thief that's been draining your finances without you even noticing? Well, today we're talking all about peer pressure. We're going to unpack how that constant social pressure to keep up might just be the single biggest thing holding back your financial future. Man, this really just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? You're scrolling through your feed, you see a friend's new post. Maybe it's a new car, a fancy vacation, and that little voice in your head starts up. But what's the real cost of that envy? It's not just about the price tag today. No, it's about the massive pile of wealth you're giving up tomorrow. And look, this isn't just some vague feeling we all get. Check out this number, 45%. That's nearly half. But half of what exactly? What does this number even mean? Well, that 45%, that's the number of young people who flat out admit to overspending because of social pressure. And we're not talking about a small splurge here and there. We're talking about inflating their entire budget by 20 to 30%. Just think about that for a second. That's a huge, constant leak in your financial boat, and it can set your journey to financial freedom back by years. So let's call this what it is, the envy regret pipeline. It's a surprisingly direct path that starts with something as simple as scrolling on Instagram, and it ends with you staring at your bank account filled with regret. Let's really break down how this whole destructive cycle actually works. So why is this pipeline so incredibly damaging? Well, it's because it's a total compounding killer. You know, compounding is that quiet, powerful engine that builds real wealth over time. And peer pressure, it's basically like pouring sugar in the gas tank. Let's look at how just one single purchase can completely throw your future off track. Okay, this is a scenario that plays out all the time. The action, a friend gets the latest and greatest phone, probably on some monthly payment plan. The reaction, you feel that FOMO, that pressure to keep up, and you do the exact same thing. But here's the consequence, the part that nobody posts about. That 5,000 rupees a month that was feeding your systematic investment plan, your SIP, it's now just a phone payment. You've literally traded future wealth for present-day status. So what does that trade-off actually look like when you zoom out? I mean, $5,000 a month might not feel like a disaster right now, but stretch that out over 2 decades, and the impact is absolutely staggering. Let's actually visualize the true long-term cost of this 20-year mistake. Now, before we get to the chart, you've got to understand this term, halved corpus. Think of your corpus as your final pile of money, your total accumulated wealth. And what we're about to see is how that one seemingly small, consistent leak, that phone payment, can cause your final nest egg to be literally half of what it could have been. And here it is. This is the devastating impact. These 2 bars represent your potential wealth after 20 years. On the right, that's what you build with steady discipline. And on the left, that's your portfolio when you're busy playing the keeping up game. You literally end up with half the security, half the freedom, half the wealth, all for a phone? Okay, so that's the damage. It is brutal. So what's the solution? How do we fix this? Well, it all starts with a major shift in your mindset. It's time to stop playing the loud game of public status and start winning the quiet game of building real, actual wealth. See, on the left, you've got the loud game. These are the public metrics everyone sees, right? The fancy car, the new phone, those perfect vacation photos. It's all about looking a certain way. But on the right, that's the quiet game. These are the private metrics that actually matter. Your savings rate, your net worth growth. Here's the bottom line. The loud game is about looking rich. The quiet game is about being rich. So how do you actually start playing and winning this quiet game? Well, you need a defense, an action plan to fight back against all that social pressure. So here it is, your guide to resisting the noise and quietly compounding your way to financial independence. It really comes down to 3 simple but super powerful steps. First, curate your digital world. Unfollow any account that makes you feel like you need to spend money. Be absolutely ruthless about it. Second, find your tribe. Surround yourself with people who celebrate discipline, not debt. And third, track your own progress. Build a simple spreadsheet. Track your net worth. It keeps your focus on your game, not theirs. So let's wrap this up with a few really honest questions. I want you to ask yourself this first. When you're scrolling through social media or you see a friend's big new purchase, do you feel that pull, that consistent urge to go out and buy something? Okay, next question. Try to actually put a number on it. Think back over the last year. How much money that could have been invested, that could have been growing for you, went towards fitting in instead? Be honest with yourself about what it's really costing your portfolio. And finally, let's look to the future. I want you to imagine you just put on blinders for the next 5 years. You completely ignore the noise, you tune it all out, and you just focus on your own plan. Project it forward. Where would your wealth really be? What could you actually achieve? Because ultimately, it all comes down to this one simple choice. You can keep playing the loud game of public status, or you can start winning the quiet game of financial freedom. The choice is yours. Resist the pressure and let your wealth compound in silence.